Hey, welcome to Graphic Policy Television, GPTV, I'm Brett. We've got the 3 latest releases from DC Collectibles, some DC Icons action figures. Now, we've covered these slightly in the past, but we've got 3 brand new ones, courtesy of DC Collectibles, who hooked us up to show them off. Now, I love these figures. I see them on the shelves at my local comic shop all the time, and absolutely amazed at the detail of all of them. So we're going to open them up, we're going to show this off, and give general thoughts as to all the releases. So let's start with number 14 for the DC Icons list. This is the Joker. Now, he's got kind of the classic look to him with the fedora hat, the trench coat. With him, you get a bunch of hands, crowbar, Tommy gun, all items that you can go and do your madness of the Joker. Now, that's one of the things I love about these DC collectible figures. These aren't the action figures that I or you probably grew up with. There's much more updated, highly articulated, really cool functions. The pieces that goes to them are absolutely amazing. So let's first open up the figure itself. And I think that's all the pieces holding the Joker in. Alright, so before I get to the accessories of the figure, let's talk about the figure itself. Now we can see him here. He's got his, of course, fedora, kind of an iconic look that we've seen a lot of places. It's been made in, of course, comics. Animated series had him do this for a little bit. Overall, really great details. The jacket is, I guess, PVC, plastic, and so very flexible. I don't really think you can, I mean, you might be able to struggle to take it off, but I don't know if I'd want to. Of course, he's got his orange vest, and what's really nice, he's got the pinstripe pants as well. I don't know if that's going to come out in the video itself, or if you can see it. As far as articulation, you know, it's exactly what I expect with these DC Icon figures. The, you know, head pivots, which, you know, not that much, but the arms have full rotation at the upper arm. The elbow has 2 points. Then, of course, you have the wrists and the hands being able to move around. And then the legs are very similar and being able to move in, you know, very awkward and all over their places. And then the feet have a little bit of movement. They swivel and then can move a little bit the foot itself. So tons of articulation for the figures. Exactly what I would expect for anything coming from DC Icons. Now let's actually go through the accessories. Alright, so you get 3 hands for you to change things around. Obviously the hands are there for you to carry certain items, so it's pretty easy to pop them off. So let's take these out. And let's go with, I'll put this in. And even though the hands pop off, you can still actually move the wrists, which is really nice. So to be able to get them in and out of where they're supposed to be, and then still be able to twist them, I think is really impressive. It's, as I said, these are not the hands or the toys that we grew up with, at least I grew up with. And then let's go with, well, it seems that all the hands that you get are right hands. So we will put his left hand back on. And get that back in there. Alright, so you can see it's pretty solid that you can get the Joker with his Tommy gun. Now he also comes with a crowbar for you to go and do some damage and beat people with. And my guess is the crowbar will fit in this hand pretty well. And we can see that. You know, it's pretty good case. You know, to get the crowbar in. Let's see what this hand does. Now, I think this is more for the Tommy gun. So overall, like, really impressive. It's got this classic look to it. I guess it reminds me of Neil Adams a bit as far as the look of the face, the sculpting of it. You know, this is a Joker that I remember fondly growing up with and liking a bunch. So let's go and place him in his box for him to show off his craziness. as we open up the rest. Next, we've got, of course, John Stewart Green Lantern. It is number 15 of this set. There are actually 4 in this release. The final one is static. We just have these 3 to show off. Now this one looks really cool. I was kind of admiring it through the package before I turned the video on. I mean, John Stewart, for a lot of folks, is kind of their Green Lantern. I mean, that's the one they grew up with, the one they've liked, and you know, you saw him on things like the Justice League cartoon show. So for folks of a certain age, this is the Green Lantern they knew. Get the... There we go. Try not to damage the figure. Hey, Joker. Alright, so first and foremost, sculpting's pretty good. The face, it's definitely an older version, I would say, of John Stewart. Not kind of the newer one that we've seen with Ivan Reis or Ethan Van Sciver. So this is, I think, a little bit older of a sculpt. Or not sculpt, but an older kind of version of what I expect. As far as articulation, head moves really well. Arms are fantastic as usual. You know, other than the knee being a little stiff, it's solid, tons of movement, exactly what I'd expect for one of these figures from this line. We got small details like the Green Lantern ring on his fist, and there's actually some pretty cool stuff that you can do with this. So first, let's look at some of the accessories. We've got a Green Lantern battery. What is a Green Lantern without a Green Lantern battery? So you can go and put it in his hand, and he can go and recite his oath when he needs to. So we can go and recreate iconic moments with the Green Lanterns, reciting their oath, recharging up their battery, and then going to kick some butt. So that's actually pretty cool. I like that. It's a nice little item. But I think there's some other stuff that's pretty awesome here. So let's go with... this will be on his right hand. Alright, so this one replaces his right hand, and you can actually do some neat stuff with this. This is what I was digging. So the big thing about the Green Lanterns is being able to create constructs. So they've got a nice hole in the right hand so that you can actually put constructs on there and have them shooting out. So of course we've got that sort of a blast. We've got that. And then this one, you know, we see every so often of that kind of symbol. Overall, really kind of a neat item, neat idea. I like it. I really, really like it. And then I'd imagine with the other Green Lanterns, though I haven't checked them out, also might have constructs, which would allow you to then put different constructs into various hands. Hopefully it's not the same stuff in every single one. But overall, I really, really dig that. You can kind of do some neat items with this one. But there's also a small detail that I really like. If you don't want to have Green Lanterns, have his white gloves, we have a right hand and left hand that you can give him his gloveless look. So if you're not a fan of the gloves, you can actually do a gloveless one that matches his skin tone, which is pretty cool. And of course we've got the detail of the ring on there. Now, unfortunately, you wouldn't be able to do use the constructs with that one, but still, you know, be able to switch out not just his gloves to do some neat things, but his entire like hand, I think, is really, really neat, and I don't want to say fantastic touch. It's a fantastic touch. I was going to say nice touch. No, it really is a fantastic touch. It adds some great detail on it. Allows you to have the character kind of stand out a bit and not just have the generic white gloves that so many others would have. You know, I want to point out that this set has, of course, John Stewart and Static. So that's two African-American action figures with the set. And then Firestorm, of course, is two people put together, one of which, and depending on the version, could be African-American. So it's a pretty diverse set as far as characters and race. So I actually think that's pretty cool. So the final one, of course, we've got Firestorm that I just mentioned. Firestorm, classic character. He is known as the Nuclear Man, and he is two individuals that get brought together to form Firestorm. They usually bicker and can talk to each other. Entertaining character. We've seen him on DC's Legends of Tomorrow, and debuted in other various live-action DC shows. Alright. So the big thing about him is he's nuclear. He's got all kinds of like flames and stuff like that. So when it comes to this figure, that's going to be what I'm going to be looking for, is that detail of the flame on his head. Now, look at it. In the packaging, but in person it looks even better. I mean, that flame is fantastic detailed, really, really awesome. Some great translucent plastic sculpted on top to make it look like the flames for the character. I mean, this is exactly what I would imagine the character would be brought to life. Coloring is unreal. The red on the suit really, really pops. The yellow is fantastic. There's like no issues whatsoever. Of course, we can bend at the chest. His arms have the full movement. I mean, this is just like all the other ones. And then, of course, we have the detail on the back. So articulation's great. Coloring's fantastic. I think detailing's really nice. It's just solid looking figure unto itself. The big thing is going to be his accessories, because right now this isn't all too exciting. So the big thing is going to be popping out his hands to see how things work. Alright. So this actually looks... This could be interesting. Alright, so let's go with his right. So you can put the right hand in. Ah, okay, I see this. So, okay, so we can put the hands in like normal, right? Translucent, hands look really cool, kind of got that flame nuclear thing going on that you know for the character, but then you can pop that off, put his like nuclear atomic thing going on, and do that instead, which is really, really neat. That looks awesome in person. I don't know if it's coming through as well on the video as it is in person, but it looks really, really, really cool. So you can kind of gotta go atomic with his wrist. So instead of putting his end of his wrist in, you'd actually kind of add that. And of course you can pop out the hands and just have the translucent hands on the end. So you can get that stage of him powering up and going all atomic on the enemies. That's really, really cool looking. You know, I don't know how it looks in the video, but in person it looks fantastic. Really solid, really good looking. Very, very cool. Just a nice sculpt. Playability, you know, gotta use your imagination with that one. But just having on a shelf, being able to display it, I think it looks fantastic. It's really, really neat. You know, out of the three, I think the surprising one that really, really I like is Firestorm. I think Firestorm looks fantastic. The coloring, the sculpt, the use of the translucent plastic, it's just solid. It's really, really solid work. Of course, the other two I think are fantastic as well. It's just the small details on this one, because the other one, I don't know if we can really see it. It was like there's small things like circles on his hands that makes things pop and show off. Really great sculpting overall. I think these are 3 figures that look fantastic, and anyone who is a fan of DC Comics, especially these characters, should go and check them out and add them to their collection for display. I mean, these are going to go up on my shelf so everyone can see them, and you know, I'll have my imaginary battles in my head. But thank you so much for DC Collectibles for hooking us up and being able to show off all 3 of these figures. You can go and get them on shelves now. They're the latest releases for DC Icons collectible figures. Firestorm, John Stewart Green Lantern, and Joker. You can go to your stores and get them or catch them online. We'll have links underneath this video. Of course, there'll probably be affiliate links, so by clicking on them, you're going to help support our site. But as I said, thank you, DC Collectibles, for the hookup. And thank you all for watching. This has been Graphic Policy Television, GPTV. Brett, you can catch us every single day and get even more toy news and updates and comic news and what have you at graphicpolicy.com. Of course, we're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all at Graphic Policy, keeping it nice and consistent. So as always, thank you for watching. Much appreciated. Until next time, keep playing with your figures and keep it geeky.